Hey guys, I'm at SHOT Show. I stopped by the Hazard 4 booth. If you don't know these guys make some really high-end tactical gear. Check them out. I got Philip here. He's going to tell you all about their stuff.
How you doing? So we've been coming to SHOT Show for about 6 years, and we do a full line of tactical gear. When we started, the main point of the brand was to basically do really high-end stuff, because the other brands were good and they covered a lot of things from vests through bags and then clothes, but usually the focus was more on value or more on just sort of sheer usability and toughness. And our brand always wanted to sort of add more functionality and add more features for electronics and other things that hadn't been being done by other brands. So one of our main best sellers that's still that way is this sling pack. It's called
this is what I know you for right here.
The sling sort pack. Of known for this one. And it's a small, slim sort of go bag, get home bag that fits really well into lockers, or it fits in between seats and APCs, helicopters, that kind of thing, and can be easily handed out through hatches. That was sort of where it was designed for by the people who were using them for those purposes. And to carry it, it then slings onto the body without being too bulky. And the neat thing is, the way we designed it is it can come around to the front of the user quickly, and everything on the bag was designed to mainly function from the front as opposed to as a backpack that has to be taken off. So all the pockets are done in an ambidextrous way, so that the direction that they're facing can be switched around depending on whether you're left or right-handed.
Nice.
So for instance, this pocket comes around this way. You have organizer here for phone, pens, small tools, other things like that. And if it was a right-handed situation, you would open it from the other direction. Small pocket here for sundry things, ear protection.
What fabric is this, by the way? It looks pretty thick.
This is 1000D Cordura.
That's pretty tough.
Yeah, so that's the other thing. Most of our bags are made out of the highest grade fabric, brand name fabrics you can get. And this will be available, in multicam, ATAX here, OD green. Not all of our packs are, but the more popular ones we do in all those grades. So internally, this bag has features that, at least when we were starting the company, nobody else was doing, and probably most people still don't. So for instance, the inside here is actually lined with this fuzzy tricot fabric, and it's quilted all the way through so that you can attach dividers. We sell, it comes with one, and you have extras you can buy to split the gear up however you want. Or if you have, we have Velcro holsters for handguns, magazines, that kind of thing, so they stick to that. Or just patches. If you have patches and you need to swap them out, that's a way to store them. And on top of that, obviously, it also keeps cameras, things like that from getting scratched. I was just going to say, that makes a great camera bag. Right. Because we're a few percentage points higher in price than some brands, and people say, well, why is this expensive over that brand? Say, well, look inside the bags. Check out what it's made of. Is it lined? Is it not? A lot of times you'll find it isn't. That's why they're less expensive, but they're only marginally less expensive. You're actually getting a fair bit more with the Hazard 4 product. That's what we aimed at, typically. So usually bags have a lot of MOLLE coverage. The MOLLE is sewn by computer machines so that they have very, very consistent zigzag stitching. It's not just a one or two bag that only puts maybe 20 pieces in. This is hundreds of pieces of stitch that are going in.
Very strong.
Yeah, and then these bags have another section in the back here, which can be for hydration and other purposes. So it has a hydration hanger here, and it has an expandability for a bladder. Again, it has that soft, furry material, so you could stick holsters and CCW pieces or magazines for rifles in there as well, or small electronics like an iPad mini, for instance, would be padded by that. And the reason the electronics will survive is because pretty much all of our packs and sling packs have thermoform backs.
I was just going to say, this is probably the most durable backing I've ever seen on bags before.
Yeah.
Especially small bags, you don't see that.
I mean, it's durable in that you can scratch it with rocks and stuff like that. It's laminated fabric down to a foam molding, but it also gives you the spine of the bag, and it gives the air channels. They have all different designs depending on the bag to let air go through so you ventilate a little bit, and they have a programmed flex, we call it, so it's programmed to sort of bend in certain spots. So if it's on your chest, it would wrap around this way, or if it's on your back, it would wrap around that way. So that's another unique thing, is that all of our packs have this 3D molded and thermoformed pattern as opposed to just like a flat piece of fabric or some of this material here, which is good, so we use it on our straps, but here it doesn't give any structure. You'd have to probably have a plastic board inside, and this typically is protected well, whereas this usually ends up being put down into the dirt or something, or thistles, things like that in the wild, where they'll stick to this material, and they will not stick to that material. So that feature set on this bag is in this format, but it just comes in all kinds of different formats that we do. Like if we transfer over to our photography area, I can demonstrate that.
What kind of ballpark price is that, by the way?
That's about 120 MSRP.
Oh, okay.
Occasionally they'll be found cheaper from different retailers, maybe down to $100. So just to sort of expand upon how we have the same types of quality and features, but in different formats. This is a new camera bag that we're launching for this year. So again, you have the 1000D Cordura. This is actually a prototype, but the final production here will also have this pattern done as a thermoform. And in the back here, again, you've got this flat area protected by that padding. And again, with the area for the CCW. And then the ones that are more specifically made for computer use, we have this quilted area here that's really even more protective and prevents dust from scratching, or like pieces of sand from scratching the equipment. And for instance, this one here is a camera bag, but this back section can hold a Surface Pro 3 or 4, so that Photoshop editing, Illustrator editing can be done with the camera, everything in a really small package. So this one's called the Freestyle. It's a larger Freestyle, and then there's another one that's small, and there'll be another one that's even smaller for cameras that are getting smaller. Let's say that would be for a mirrorless, this would be for a full-size, full-sensor SLR. So it would open here, and you've got movable dividers to take different camera gear. And then it opens on top as well.
I'm actually really excited that you guys are making a dedicated photography bag that's tactical related.
Yeah.
Because I go to the store,
right,
camera store, and they don't have stuff like this.
No, they'll have shiny nylon and whatever. They're typically made for the street.
Exactly.
So we actually sell a fair bit to like combat photographers and people working for CNN, people who are deployed with the military. And since year one, we've had photography gear.
Nice.
At the company. This is just an expansion of more of it for smaller. Cameras are getting smaller. Mirrorless cameras, even GoPro cameras, everything is getting tinier. So this is almost gonna be like the biggest bag that we make. And again, it works, in that sling fashion. That the bag comes from the back to the front. You access the camera. You shoot with it, and also since it's a stiff box, basically, you can put your elbows on it and keep steady. Make a sort of a tripod situation with a bit of built-in lens stabilization. You can get pretty good shots, especially for video, doing that. So,
I like that. Ballpark price on something like this?
Probably around 145, 150, depending on the size of it.
Okay.
Yeah, and then that's sort of our bags. There's various sizes and shapes, and we have a full line of clothing, so we're always trying to do innovative things.
I saw this poncho via.
Right.
That's very cool. That's this right here.
Yeah, so this poncho folds up into its own front pocket. So this is actually the inside of its pocket that you can store it in, and it makes like the retail packaging in itself. And if it's wet, when you flip it inside out, it keeps things from getting wet, like in your car or whatever. So what we aim to do with the poncho via, it is actually a bestseller.
Let's go take a
we
look
can
at it
come
real
around.
quick. So those of you guys that served in the military back in the day, we used to have these green ponchos. This is so much better than those old military ponchos we had.
Well, that was sort of our pitch actually in the catalog. As we said, people are used to the rubbery sort of poncho from the 70s, and they're a very unglamorous kind of item.
Yeah.
And they weren't that comfortable either because they weren't breathable. So if you were humping, for hours in it, you would actually get really sweaty on the chest and on the back. But they work really well because it keeps your backpack covered, keeps a chest rig or whatever else you have covered, and you can get to a radio, you can get to your rifle, you could check your chamber. Whereas, with the coolest jackets in the world, everything's exposed and it's getting snow and water and whatever on it. And we wanted to do like a modernized version of the poncho, and we're the only ones who really have something like this in the world.
Seen anything else like this.
Yeah, so we worked hard to make something like the hood be like similar to what a modern snowboard jacket would be.
Oh yeah.
And the styling on that, the way it cinches up, the function of it is based on modern jackets. So it's really more like a modern jacket with a poncho shape as opposed to a poncho, from the old materials and all. And it's fully seam sealed. where all the, well, that's the other thing, it has military features as well beyond that. So you have patches, you can put a large, say, sheriff's patch on the front or a SWAT team patch.
Nice.
Big field for that. This is that pocket that it folds up into. And
that's the pocket.
Yeah, so I'll show you the graphic in there. So that's the graphic that we saw externally.
Nice.
So it flips over and it folds into its own pocket.
Put a map in there, or whatever, usually.
Yeah, it's quite large. The other thing with this thing that's probably the biggest thing about it beyond the styling is that this is actually a stretch, waterproof, breathable material. So it's the same as like a soft shell jacket. So it isn't just a sticky, clammy rubber poncho that's just, you know, will be waterproof, but it's actually gonna breathe. So you can wear this all day and actually be comfortable in it, and it's, you know, much stiffer, and it's not going to tear the way if you catch, you know, a typical nylon poncho on a branch or something. It's going to go. This is extremely durable stuff. And we also included a lot of old school features like these grommets here and snaps.
You can make a shelter.
You can make a shelter out of it. So you just pull the hood shut at the neck, and then you have this large, because a poncho is essentially a rectangle. They all are, no matter what they may look like. They're really just a rectangular
there's
shape.
snaps right here?
Yeah, there's snaps also to keep your pants from getting wet. So you can put them up, you can put a string down the middle, go off the sides, and use those stakes, little small stakes, make a little tent. Sometimes guys will put two of them together. So we've actually seen photos over the years of people out in the field kind of bringing up shelters and stuff.
I definitely got to have that in my survival bag.
That one's around $100. So we were aiming for the price of sort of like a lower to moderately priced soft shell jacket, which it basically is, just in a different format. So it should give you a good introduction to, you know, our bags and our apparel and our more specialized bags, like the photo bags here, or the other one I showed you. There's different sizes of that. There's ones that'll take SBRs or broken down M4s that are made for that purpose. But the quality features, the innovation, and the unusual sort of ergonomics is the hallmark of what we do.
Great. So anybody out there watching this video that's interested in learning more about you, the website?
It's hazard4.com.
There it is.
And we've got a full-featured web store, and we also sell in a number of retailers. Most states have Gander Mountain. We sell in Gander Mountain stores for bricks and mortar, and anything that's not available there, you can get from the website.
There you have it, guys. That's my visit to the Hazard 4 booth at SHOT Show. Check them out.